Guys, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. Let's talk about that stimulus bill, that $1,200 that's coming to every U.S. taxpayer who makes less than, I think, 75,000. Here's the IRS website. No action needed by most people at this time. So I hear that people are starting to get their direct deposit. If they direct deposited, if they link their bank account to their tax records, you're going to get your payment first, and then they're going to send out checks next week, supposedly. $1,200. How far will that go for most people? Not very far. They're going to have to do it again in 2 weeks. I guarantee you. Wait, it is 2 weeks, and yes, they are doing it again. But something very interesting. Besides the bizarreness around this, in an unprecedented move, Treasury orders Trump's name printed on the stimulus checks. Everybody's got their theory on, no, Trump, I told you he nationalized the Federal Reserve and all this stuff. It doesn't matter. And behind the scenes, they're all working together. The Fed has always worked with the Treasury and the U.S. government because the U.S. government can end the Fed in a blink of an eye. Yes, the Fed can be ended with one signature out of Congress. That's all. But, of course, all the congressmen are bought and paid for by the banking cabal, and they won't let that happen. So, is it a big deal if Trump has nationalized the Federal Reserve? No. They always work together anyway. They work together to rig the markets. They work together. They're on the Exchange Stabilization Fund. They work together, the president's working group on financial markets. The head of the Treasury, the head of the Fed, the head of the SEC, and the head of the CFTC. They decide who wins and loses in the market rigging world. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. The pathetic thing is, this is just another bank bailout. If you think about where this money goes, the $1,200, it gets deposited instantly into your bank. Think about that. $1,200 into the bank. A deposit into a bank of $1,200 means the bank can lend out 10 times that, $12,000. The bank lends out $12,000 when they get $1,200 in their pocket. Yeah, is it 10%? Is it 9%? How much gets it into the derivative market? Is it 30x? I mean, it's all crazy. Banks, for the most part, are 9 to 10% levered in the U.S., meaning for every deposit they get, they lend out 10 times. All right? So when the people get their deposit, $1,200, the bank says, gee, I get to lend out another $1,200 or $12,000. $12,000. Get that. $12,000 to pay off all their issues and problems. They don't even have to do anything with it. They can use it to plug holes. That's where the money goes. Now, here's a really bizarre part of it, and this is the embarrassing part for my country. Your coronavirus check is coming. Your bank can grab it. Your bank has the legal authority not to give you the $1,200 if you owe them money or owe other people money. If there's a lien on your finances, you don't get to feed your family because you owe the bank for this month's rent. Absolutely, they take it first before it's available for you. And what happens when they take it? They leverage it 10 to 1. Regulators had given banks the green light to use stimulus funds to pay off debts that individuals owe them. This week, the $1,200 CARES Act payment Congress approved in response to the coronavirus will begin to appear in America's bank accounts. The funds will be wired to eligible recipients who previously authorized the IRS to post their refunds. Those are Social Security payment checks, for example, through direct deposit. This will speed relief far more quickly than having the IRS mail a check, which could take up to 5 months. Why 5 months? Anyway, but the money may not make it to the hands of the people who need to pay bills, food, or just survive amid mass unemployment and widespread suffering. Individuals might first have to fend off their own bank, which has just been given the power to seize the $1,200 payment and use it to pay off outstanding debt. If you owe the bank money, you don't get to decide when you want to pay them. California, you can't evict people, so they're not going to throw their $1,200 at rent, but the bank's going to take it first. It is insane. Congress did not exempt CARES Act payments from private debt collection and the Treasury Department has been reluctant to exempt them through its rulemaking authority. This means that individuals could see their payments transferred from their hands into the hands of their creditors, potentially leaving them with nothing. So the bank can take your $1,200 and lever it up to $12,000 if you owe them money. Banks would be first in line to grab the payments to offset a delinquent loan or past due fees if the individual thinks their account with that bank is closed. If there's payments posted there, the bank could conceivably use them to cover old debts. The Treasury Department effectively blessed this activity on a webinar with bank officials last week. In an audio obtained by the prospect, Rhonda Kent, Chief Disbursing Officer with the Treasury's Bureau of Fiscal Service, can be heard explaining that banks had posted questions to her about whether these payments could be subject to collection from the bank to which the money is deposited. If the payee owes an outstanding loan or other payments to the bank, she responded twice that, quote, there's nothing in the law that precludes that action, while counseling that the bank's compliance officers should consult with their legal offices. Quote, you want to know you will want to know for your bank what your bank has decided to do, this guy said. That's insane. That's insane. So if you have a major credit card payment this month or your rent payment this month, as soon as that check comes in, your bank can confiscate what you owe. You don't get to choose to feed the decision between feeding your family and paying off a credit card that's overdue, or at least paying off the overdue balance. They will steal that money. That is insane. What is the world coming? Anyway, on a brighter note, tonight, we have a great charity celebration going on that I will be participating in. Amy will be participating in. It's with our friend Litecoin Lisa, a great friend of the Road to Ruta, a great friend of the crypto people. Lisa is an amazing person who has donated her life to charities, and this is her own charity, the Mighty Mia charity, in honor of her daughter who passed away. Unbelievable event, unbelievable time to give back if you have any. Of course, they'll take any donation, but cryptos especially. If you guys have crypto money, please join us tonight. It's 5 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And I'm not sure all the people, me and Amy are definitely going to be there. And probably Bitcoin Ben and a lot of the friends of Lisa, and Lisa is a friend to everybody in the cryptos. If you're into cryptos, definitely join us. It'll be very fun. And that's go to Lisa's YouTube channel. I'll have a link below this video in the descriptions. And it's right here. There's already 2 people waiting, and it doesn't start for many hours. I love that. So put it on, set your reminders. Everybody click on this, Litecoin Lisa's YouTube channel. The link is below, and set your reminder to be on this. We'll be talking cryptos, we'll be talking life, we'll be talking all kinds of great things. And it's a celebration of Lisa and Mia and all the great work she's done for underprivileged kids in many different ways. So please join us and click the link below. If you want more information on Road to Ruta, just go to roadtoruta.com and click around there and have some fun. A lot of Cliff interviews in there that people haven't heard. I would especially suggest watching parts 1 through 3 of the Year Zero interviews with Cliff High. It explains what's going on right now. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.
All right. I have a song that I wrote for my dad. My dad's awesome. 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. They told me he had 6 months to live. He's a fighter, and he fought it, and he won. At least he's winning. You know, you're always winning with cancer. You never fully beat it. But it's 10 years, and he's been cancer-free. And, yeah, it's an amazing thing. And he's an amazing man, and he's one of those fathers you want to, my whole life I was like, I want to be like that, I want to be like that. He was a lawyer, and then he turned into he calls himself a farmer, but he grows grapes. And he doesn't actually do any farming. He smokes a cigar and watches everybody else farm while he's sitting there. But it was his 70th birthday, and I wrote him a song because we've had similar lives. He got divorced from my mother, and I got divorced somewhere down the line. We both had kids. And I wrote the song so that everybody could understand it and feel it who has a relationship with their dad. It's called My Father's Son. I was born on the 4th of July, 64. My father's son, life's just begun. I didn't know much more. He gave my soul a name that day, and I'm proud of where it came. I'm glad to be my father's son, and so much more than name. And from those early years, as a boy becomes a man, I looked upon my dad as if I was his biggest fan. He said, life is short and you got one chance, don't waste a single day. So I tried to live my life as if tomorrow's far away. You see, I am my father's son. He's part of everything I've done. After all the years, through laughs and tears, I'm proud to say that I am my father's son. Yes, I am my father's son. Throughout his life I watched my dad work hard for what he earned. I tried to steer my life into the path that his life turned. So I got a job and I worked real hard, but we both sacrificed too much. 'Cause families fall apart when they fall too out of touch. So I, like him, rebuilt my life to what it should have been. A loving wife with kids and all the family time to spend. It was my dad that made my road so clean and so clear. I've learned my father's lessons. It's why I'm standing here. You see, I am my father's son. He's part of everything I've done. After all the years, through laughs and tears, I'm proud to say that I am my father's son. Yes, I am my father's son. Now here we sit after all these years, both tired from the winding road. We share the wine, we pass the time with family young and old. And in the end, there's so few things you leave to those who stay. So I'll cherish all the moments with my father here today. You see, I am my father's son. He's part of everything I've done. After all the years, through laughs and tears, I'm proud to say that I am my father's son. Yes, I am my father's son. And I am my father's son. Thank you, folks.